Eden Hazard was awarded the PFA Player of the Year. Some comments surrounding whether or not he deserved it or not, and they were also had the PFA Team of the Year, which caused more controversy, I think. So I'm going to touch on the first point, is that Eden Hazard, the Player of the Year, which in my mind was undoubtedly the correct decision. He was the best player for Chelsea, who so happened to be the best team in the league this season, and he was at the focus point of a lot of their attacks. As you see maybe coming up here, his goal scoring for sheet since January 1st speaks for itself, and it's not as much just his stats, because he was actually asked about his stats, which you can see here. But he said, it's not, although his stats are better than last year, it's not always about the numbers. It's about how he inspires his teammates around him and what he does best. But you can see on the goal scoring, specifically against teams like Manchester United, scoring quite a lot, scoring in big games, assisting in big games. And he's just the main reason why Chelsea are so threatening going forward, because we know that Chelsea are good at the back. And if you look at the Team of the Year, half of Chelsea's, half of the back four, or maybe I think 3/4 of the back four, is Chelsea's players, because they're so good at the back. That's where a lot of their focus is. They've been called boring, and I mean the game this weekend perhaps does replicate that more than anything, because it was a 0-0 dire game. 4 shots I think on target overall. It was a really awful game to watch. But as Jose Mourinho comes out and says that boring wins titles, and if you're going to call me boring, boring is not winning a title in 10 years. So he's obviously taking a dig there. But Eden Hazard is what makes them less boring going forward, and he really fits into that Chelsea team well, and he, for me, deserves undoubtedly to be the best player announced this year. However, the Team of the Year is something that I need to talk about. So if you see here, the Team of the Year, in goals, De Gea, deservedly so. I think De Gea has been the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. He's the reason why Manchester United are going to perhaps finish in the top 4, even with their rocky start. He kept them in games more often than not. Bertrand, of course, from Southampton at left back. Terry, Cahill and Ivanovic at Chelsea. 3 of the back 4 there, Chelsea players, and rightly so, the best defensive team in the league by a mile. Matic is in there. Coutinho, the Liverpool midfielder, makes his way into the midfield. Hazard, Sanchez, Kane and Costa up top. So there's a few things. The first thing is mainly what everyone was talking about, is Cesc Fabregas. For me, the second, he's probably top 5 best players in the Premier League this season. He could have as well took Hazard or Costa to the running for the trophy, but I think that when they were announcing the Team of the Year, they just thought that's too many Chelsea players. But Cesc Fabregas, with his assist record this season and how much he influenced games, specifically at the start with Costa, a lot of Costa's goals came from that man Cesc Fabregas and how well he assisted. So to not include him in the Team of the Year, I think, in my perspective, is disastrous. I think that he is one of the best players in the Premier League. He's probably the best central midfielder, and he definitely plays well with that Chelsea team. And just as I said, Hazard was a major reason why they finished top of the table, why they had such a successful season. It's because Fabregas as well. He provides Hazard with a lot of his possession. He provides Costa with a lot of goals. And I don't care if there's too many Chelsea players in there. I don't know if you wanted to remove Coutinho. Matic obviously made it in there because he had such a successful season as the best defensive midfielder. You look at the category around him, there's no one else really as good as him. Carrick could have made a good run at it if he played the full season, because he had a good, maybe last 4 or 5, 6 games for Manchester United, but nowhere near enough consistency and on the field playing time as Matic. So he gets that role because no one else could compare to him. But no one else really compares to Fabregas. Look at the comparison of Coutinho and Fabregas in terms of stats. Fabregas clearly outweighs him with assists and how much he contributes to his team. So I think Fabregas has to go in there, whether or not you think too many Chelsea players are there. But we want to know what you guys think. Leave your comments in the section below. Did Hazard deserve to win it? Did Fabregas deserve to be in the team? Who else do you think should have made it that wasn't mentioned? What did you think about Arsenal and Chelsea's 0-0 diabolical game at the weekend?